So, have you heard about what's happening at Holbæk Hospital?
No?
They're teaching nurses how to have those necessary conversations with patients about, death and existential stuff.
Oh, really? That's interesting. How are they doing that?
Well, they've started this program where they use simulation training.
Mm-hmm.
Nurses get to practice these conversations with actors pretending to be patients.
Like role-playing scenarios?
Exactly. It's like rehearsing for a play, but the script is about real-life situations. They get
Right.
feedback in real time, which is super helpful.
That's really smart. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not easy talking about such heavy topics.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But calling it the necessary conversation instead of the difficult conversation makes a big difference.
It changes the mindset, doesn't it?
Exactly. It
Mhm.
encourages healthcare professionals to approach the conversation as essential rather than something to avoid.
I wonder how the patients feel about this.
Well, from what I've heard, patients appreciate it immensely.
Yeah.
One of the chaplains, Thomas Goodbergson, said it's one of the most significant conversations in a patient's life.
Makes sense. It's
Exactly.
probably something they'll remember forever.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the medical facts, but also about addressing their fears and existential concerns.
Right. But do nurses feel prepared to handle that?
Well, that's the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Many healthcare professionals have a kind of berührungsangst, a fear of touching, when it comes to existential topics.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's delicate territory.
Exactly. But that's why the training includes guidance from the hospital chaplain.
Oh, right.
He helps them navigate those spiritual conversations.
That's really holistic.
It is.
Yeah.
They're combining the medical with the humanistic approach.
That's something that's often missing in healthcare.
I agree.
Mhm.
Nurses like Annika Sørensen talked about how nurses focus on intimacy and presence, while doctors are more factual.
That balance is so important.
It really is. And sometimes the collaboration between doctors and nurses in these conversations can be tricky.
Right. How so?
Well, Annika mentioned that she doesn't find the conversation itself hard, but the interplay with the doctor can be challenging.
Oh, I
She
see.
doesn't want to step on their toes.
But wouldn't teamwork make it better for the patient?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But sometimes doctors explain things too technically and patients need it broken down.
So nurses fill in the gaps?
Exactly. It's like the doctor gives the skeleton and the nurse adds the flesh to it.
Haha, good analogy. But do doctors mind that?
Well, that's where communication comes in. They
Mhm.
need to work together to ensure the patient understands.
It's all for the patient's benefit after all.
Absolutely. And the training helps with that collaboration.
Right. I think it's great they're focusing on this.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hans-Henrik Bülow, a retired doctor involved in the program, believes good communication can prevent a lot of patient complaints.
Oh, really?
Yes. He mentioned that up to 50% of patient complaints could be avoided with proper communication.
Wow. That's significant.
It is.
Yeah,
And it's not just about avoiding complaints, but also about providing better care.
definitely. But do you think a one-time training is enough?
Well, they hold these sessions twice a year,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an ongoing effort to improve communication skills.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
creating a culture where these conversations are normalized.
I wonder if other hospitals are doing the same.
Some are, but I think Holbæk is really leading the way.
Right.
They're even inspired by the Copenhagen Academy for Medical Education and Simulation.
Oh, that's Kames, right?
Exactly. They're taking
Mhm.
best practices and implementing them locally.
That's fantastic.
It really is. And
Yeah.
the impact on patients is profound.
Speaking of patients, how do they feel during these conversations?
From what the actors portraying patients say, they feel more understood and cared for when nurses engage empathetically.
Right. I can imagine it's comforting to have someone really listen.
Exactly. And addressing their spiritual concerns can bring a lot of peace.
Yeah. But do all nurses feel comfortable discussing spirituality?
Not always. That's why the
Mhm.
chaplain's role in training is so important.
He helps them navigate that aspect?
Yes, he provides guidance on how to ask open-ended questions about beliefs and fears.
Right. That's invaluable.
It really is.
Yeah.
Allowing patients to express themselves fully can make a huge difference.
This reminds me of how important communication is in all aspects of life.
Absolutely. It's the
Mhm.
foundation of understanding and connection.
And in healthcare, it's literally life-changing.
Couldn't agree more. It's
Yeah.
about treating the whole person, not just the illness.
Exactly. But do you think enough emphasis is placed on this in medical education?
I think it's improving, but there's always room for more.
Right.
Programs like the one at Holbæk are pioneering the way.
Hopefully it becomes more widespread.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Better communication leads to better patient outcomes.
Well, it's inspiring to hear about these initiatives.
It really is. Makes you
Mhm.
appreciate the dedicated professionals out there.
Definitely.
So, next time we think about healthcare, we'll remember it's not just about treatments, but also about conversations that matter.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing this with me.
Anytime, it's a
Yeah.
topic close to my heart.
Mine too. Let's hope for more positive changes in the future.
Agreed. Here's to
Mhm.
making every conversation count.